Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for the next hour, we are joined by Dr. Leonard Horowitz, Harvard educated. And I have his detailed, lengthy affidavit linked up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, to FluScam.com, his website. Affidavit of Leonard G. Horowitz. He's filed this with the FBI. Now, he's only done this one other time that I know of, months before 9/11, and then right after 9/11, he came out and he said they're going to launch an anthrax attack through the mail, because he noticed that they'd done a congressional study of mailing weaponized anthrax through the mail in the year before 9/11. He had some other pieces of evidence. He filed that in his affidavit. They ignored it for 6 months. Then it was in the news that they showed up at his house saying he was a suspect, because how could he know this was going to happen through the mail? And, of course, no laboratories, no nothing, no proof. Later they tried to pin it on a couple people. Turned out it was super weaponized, like he said. They tried to burn patsies. Are they going to try to say now he's behind the flu as it comes out it's weaponized? So that's how close to these issues he is. That's how informed he is. And he makes that point in his affidavit. Last time I contacted the FBI, I warned them about the impending anthrax attacks 1 week before the first mailings were announced in the press, or Horowitz recalled. It took them 6 months to respond. When they did, they made me a suspect in the mailings. This time, I'm writing to the Justice Department a month before the deadliest genocide in history. I'm praying they'll take kindly to my appeal to investigate PNYC and court-ordered injunction to stop vaccinations for public protection. Now, I feel bad because I'm so focused on making fall of the Republic. I'm so focused on all these other issues that Dr. Horowitz has been trying to get a hold of me for a week and a half. That's how busy I've been with the whole Charlie Sheen 9/11 operation, exposing that we've launched. Every phone call last week to Michael Chertoff on C-SPAN was saying it was an inside job. Totally, the whole cover-up's imploding there. But I apologize, Dr. Horowitz, and I'm very honored that he tried to reach out to us first for this. I'm going to have to give you my personal cell, Doc. I'm sorry. But I said in the first hour, this is the bravest thing I've ever seen, what you're doing, because I know you go through tremendous hell to do something like this and to lay out this detailed scientific affidavit that it doesn't have page numbers. What is it? It's like 45, 50 pages long when we printed it out. And I just salute your courage. It's this type of maverick courage and this type of piercing discernment and understanding that may save humanity. And I have no doubt the Creator's working through you, Dr. Horowitz, and we're all praying for you right now, sir, and your team.
Well, thank you. I so much love you, what you do, and love you, and I greatly appreciate what you're doing and have been doing. And I think that it's time that we come together as a family to simply stop the genocide, stop the insanity, the hypocrisy, this lunacy that's operating under the guise of public health and national security. And I think we're starting to win. I'm telling you, because the doctors out there who are wise, they are not going to take the flu vaccines, and they're not going to give it to their patients. And I think what we're going to start together and continue together is a whole evolution in consciousness towards what true health care reform should reflect, not this poisoning of the population.
Okay, sir, I want to start before we get to the new bombshell info and new developments you're saying are going to come out Wednesday. I hope we can break that here. You told me you've sent me the info. It's now in my email. But as much as you can tell us about that today, what's coming up on Wednesday. But first, let's walk through the anthrax detailed, precise prediction that you made on public record, what's currently happening with the current H1N1 vaccine, the virus itself, where that's going, and then now your affidavit and the bombshell info, and then the new info that's coming out.
Well, you know, I think the title of InfoWars and Infowars.com really says it all. My area of expertise primarily, besides I'm very, very knowledgeable in infectious diseases, I'm very knowledgeable in genetics, and the whole concept I would love to have everybody understand is electrogenetics and bioenergetics and how we can free ourselves from pharmaceutical intoxication and evolve our planet into some sane semblance of what real health care is really about, not disease care, not disease induction through vaccination, intoxication, and chemical poisonings. We've got to stop that, but the bottom line is InfoWars. You see, that's really what this is about. Behavioral science, believe it or not, is the most powerful of all the sciences. My Harvard Master's in Public Health is in behavioral science. Media, health education, health promotion, persuasion, technologies, research, and development. That was my principal training. I've published in the scientific literature in that field. And so when I watch TV and when I watch the news, I pick up stuff that most people don't. And that's what primarily gives me an indication of what I should be investigating.
Because you were trained, I guess, with a degree to be one of their propagandists. You understand their program.
Well, I was trained not to be one of their propagandists. I was trained in the art of propaganda. I was trained in the art of...
That's what I mean. You went to the best school they've got in this whole medical system for the whole thought system.
I can tell you my training is really excellent. I'm very thankful for the professors that I had and the opportunities that I've had by the grace of the Creator. But I can tell you that when I was able to discern and predict the anthrax scam by watching the news, I literally watched in stunning, awe at how the Bayer Corporation that was on the verge of bankruptcy was wielding the mainstream media, and there were some powerful political forces working to engage the media that were now within fluscam.com. On the website fluscam.com, the affidavit that you mentioned, and you've linked it to Infowars.com, thank you. Because this now is exposing the heart of the global beast. It is a trust that wields the mainstream media. And whether you're talking about 9/11, whether you're talking about the inside job of 9/11, and who pulled the buildings, and how it was arranged, and who then manipulated the media and the mass mind following 9/11, or whether you're currently talking about healthcare reform and how it's all being manipulated through the mainstream media, and then you bring it into the domain of the flu and the swine flu, where these viruses came from, who's making the money, who's manipulating the mass mind. That's what the affidavit is all about, and that's what the expose is all about, using hard, cold, documented facts. And essentially, I think it's not just been filed by me now. I've been so busy over the last 48 hours preparing notarized copies for people all over the United States to be filing this affidavit on behalf of their efforts. And again, there are many, many discrepancies between the attorneys. One says one thing, one recommends something else. The sad reality is that we have such a system of injustice and dysfunction within our judicial system that really goes to the very heart of where your civil suits and your federal suits are blocked because it's so dysfunctional. We can't even get a consensus among a team of attorneys. We're working with the top constitutional attorneys in the United States, and they're just delaying because they don't know what to do. Well, at any rate, we the people have got to get the message out whatever way possible, and the affidavit is simply my best effort to support everybody out there that's trying to get an injunction against the FDA, against the health authorities in the various states. Tomorrow here in Laguna Beach, we're confronting the health department as well as the school administrators. The sad reality is currently where I'm sitting right now, I have a daughter in a public school, and the Parents Teachers Association is meeting tomorrow night in an effort to advance the Homeland Security, the Biopreparedness Administration. In other words, the parents are now being engaged in the administration of vaccinations and or quarantines.
The entire population is being co-opted, and I've now confirmed Applied Digital Solutions, we're going to cover this in a few minutes, has now gotten the patent for, quote, implanting people who've been triaged or vaccinated. So they decide not to treat you, you get an implantable chip. Or if you've had the vaccine, you get a chip to prove that you've gone along with this. That is in my stack here. So this is just amazing. But I want to get into that coming up. Dr. Horowitz, let's go back to those 4 points, though, in detail. First off, Give us the play-by-play with the anthrax prediction, then the FBI visiting you and what you said at your home and office to them about here's who did it. And then later your evidence was proven correct.
Well, what happened was, again, I was sitting home watching the news. This was two weeks following 9/11. And I was watching Peter Jennings on ABC, and he ended his Wednesday night broadcast saying, quote, tomorrow we're going to study anthrax. Tomorrow we're going to have a look at anthrax. We're going through your fears one by one, day by day. Good night. And so I go, whoa, man, I got to tune into this because I've been studying anthrax for about 3 years. And so the next night was an infomercial, a half-an-hour infomercial for Bayer Corporation Cipro.